Creatine is the most researched, most effective supplement for muscle growth, but most people are screwing it up. In fact, there are 13 common mistakes that can completely waste your money, stall your gains, or even mess with your health. And trust me, you'll want to stick around because mistake number 7 is the one almost everyone makes. If you're serious about building muscle and staying healthy, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future tips. Let's start with mistake number 13, taking creatine on an empty stomach. Doing this can trigger stomach issues like nausea or cramps. Why? Because without food, your stomach lining is more sensitive and creatine can irritate it. The simple fix is to take it after a meal, especially one with carbs. Carbohydrates raise insulin levels, and insulin helps shuttle creatine into your muscle cells. Skip the carbs, and you're wasting some of the supplement's power, not to mention your money. The best choices are fast digestion carbs like fruit, juice, white bread, or potatoes. These quickly raise blood sugar and insulin, making creatine absorption much more efficient. Mistake number 12, not drinking more water when you start taking creatine. This one's huge, so pay attention. Creatine boosts the amount of phosphocreatine in your muscles, which helps produce ATP, the fuel your body relies on for explosive energy. But this process also increases how much water your body needs. If you don't keep up with hydration, things can go downhill fast. Dehydration during tough workouts, cramps, and electrolyte imbalances can all creep up. Plus, since creatine draws water into your muscle cells, your body needs extra fluid to balance things out. And remember, creatine is filtered by the kidneys, so low water intake can put unnecessary strain on them. While kidney issues are rare at normal doses, they're even less of a concern when you stay properly hydrated. Mistake number 11, taking the wrong dose. A lot of people think more creatine equals faster gains. That's simply not true. Your body can only absorb and use so much, and dumping in extra won't give you better results. In fact, overdoing it can stress your kidneys, increase dehydration risk, and cause cramps. The right dose depends on factors like body weight, training intensity, and metabolism. For most people, following the directions on the label is more than enough. And if you're unsure, talk to a nutrition professional instead of guessing. Quick reminder before we hit mistake number 10, make sure you subscribe. With supplement companies constantly trying to sell you anything for a quick buck, the right information is the only thing that will actually protect your health and save you money long term. Mistake number 10, quitting creatine whenever you take a training break. Big mistake. Creatine doesn't work like pre-workout. You don't just take it when you're lifting. It builds up in your muscles over time. That's why you need to take it daily, even on weekends, holidays, or rest days. Stop for a few days, and your muscle stores drop. That means slower recovery, reduced work capacity, and losing out on the progress you worked hard for. Creatine is hands down one of the best supplements for building muscle. But here's the catch. If you make any of the 13 common mistakes people unknowingly fall into, it won't work the way it should. Even worse, it might actually cause problems for your body. Stick with me until the end because I guarantee you'll be shocked by mistake number 7. Mistake number 9, ignoring creatine quality. We all know someone who tries to cut corners and buy the cheapest option, even if it's sketchy. But with creatine, that's a big risk. Purity and quality matter. A high-grade creatine guarantees you're actually getting the right dose of the active ingredient without harmful impurities. Cheap or low-purity creatine can lead to stomach problems like cramps, nausea, or diarrhea. Worse, if it's contaminated with things like heavy metals or bacteria, you could be looking at serious health issues. The smart move? Buy from trusted brands that test their products and have a solid reputation. Check reviews, do your homework, and stick to well-known names. Honestly, if you can't afford good quality creatine, it's safer not to take any than gamble on a counterfeit knockoff. Mistake number 8, obsessing over timing. A lot of people think there's some magic window when you must take creatine. Not true. It doesn't work like caffeine or pre-workout. Creatine builds up in your muscles over time, so consistency matters more than timing. Just avoid taking it on an empty stomach. Ideally, have it with a meal that includes carbs and, if you can, some protein too for better absorption. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, doesn't matter. If you forget a dose at your usual time, just take it later in the day and move on. Mistake number 7, mixing creatine into shakes or thick drinks. Here's the problem. Creatine doesn't always dissolve well in dense liquids like protein shakes. A lot of it sinks to the bottom, which means you're not actually getting the full dose. That's wasted money and less benefit over time. The better option is to mix it into water or fruit juice, something that lets it dissolve completely. Stir or shake it well so none is left behind. Another method some people use is dry scooping, putting the powder straight in your mouth and washing it down with water. It guarantees you get the full serving, but be careful. If you're not used to it, it can irritate your throat or even make you choke. Mistake number 6, picking the wrong type of creatine. Most people don't realize there are several kinds out there. The gold standard, the one with the most research behind it, is creatine monohydrate. It's proven to boost strength, power in high-intensity training, and muscle size by pulling more water into your cells. It works, it's affordable, and for the majority of people, it's the smartest choice. Now, there are other versions on the market. Creatine ethyl ester, for example, is sold as easier to absorb with less water retention, something that appeals to people worried about creatine bloat. Then there's creatine HCl, which dissolves better in water and may sit easier on the stomach than monohydrate. So how do you choose? If you're after raw strength, muscle fullness, and the best bang for your buck, stick with monohydrate. If bloating or stomach issues are a concern, HCl or ethyl ester could be alternatives. But the truth is, the only way to know what works best for your body is through experience. And, as you'll see with the next point, medical guidance matters too.
Mistake number 5, skipping a doctor's consultation. Creatine is generally safe for healthy people, but not everyone should jump in blindly. If you've got kidney, liver, or heart issues, you need to be extra careful. Remember, creatine is filtered by the kidneys. If they're already compromised, supplementation can pile on more stress, leading to dangerous complications. The same goes for liver conditions, since the liver plays a huge role in metabolism. As for heart problems, creatine can shift water and electrolyte balance, which may affect blood pressure and heart function. That's why checking in with a doctor before starting creatine isn't optional, it's essential. They can evaluate your overall health and confirm if it's safe for you. Ignore this step and you risk serious outcomes like worsening kidney function, swelling, extreme fatigue, or in the worst cases, kidney failure. A nutritionist or health professional can also guide you on which type of creatine best fits your health profile and training goals. Mistake number 3, expecting overnight results. Creatine doesn't work like a magic pill. It takes time to build up in your system, and how fast you see results depends on genetics, your diet, your workouts, and how well your body processes it. On average, most people start noticing more strength, better performance, and visible muscle growth after 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use. One study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that participants generally began seeing real performance gains and muscle growth after about 3 weeks of supplementation. Mistake number 2, skipping a proper workout routine. This one's huge. Creatine is basically extra fuel for your muscles during intense exercise, but if you're not training hard, all that fuel goes to waste. It's like chugging an energy drink and then going to bed. Creatine shines in short, high-intensity efforts, like lifting heavy or sprinting, where your muscles demand quick bursts of energy. Without that consistent challenge, creatine has nowhere to work. That said, you should still take it on rest days since it builds up in your muscles over time. The real issue is if you stop training altogether for weeks on end. In that case, continuing creatine doesn't make much sense.
Mistake number 1, neglecting your diet. Creatine works best when paired with solid nutrition. Research shows that people who eat nutrient-dense meals, especially ones high in carbs and protein, get better results. In fact, a study led by Louise Burke back in 2003 compared athletes on a high-carb diet, around 70% of total calories, to those on a moderate carb diet, around 50%. Over several weeks, the high-carb group not only had higher muscle creatine levels, but also saw bigger improvements in strength, endurance, and overall performance. The takeaway? If your diet isn't on point, creatine can't work to its full potential. That's it for today. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new workouts and tips. Let's keep getting stronger together. See you in the next video.